the office of President of the United States. We know the names of the 41 men who have held it. From the history books, we know their actions. How many of them changed the course of history. But what it is really like to be the president, to bear the exquisite burden of the office, its trials and tribulations, we can only learn from the men themselves. When George Washington first accepted the highest office in the land, he left us a candid record of his thoughts and fears in a highly personal letter he wrote to his close friend, Major General Henry Knox.
My movements to the chair of government will be accompanied by feelings not unlike those of a culprit who is going to the place of his execution. So unwilling am I in the evening of a life so nearly consumed in public cares to quit a peaceful abode for an ocean of difficulties, without the competency of political skills, abilities, and inclination which is necessary to manage the helm.
This glimpse inside the man, this piece of history, this is the exceptional world of the historical document collector.
It's a passion. We collect because it's fun to collect. The collections we have here at the magazine headquarters, none of them started out to be a collection per se. As my father said, you buy a piece because it turns you on, you buy another one, and pretty soon, voila, it's a collection and you're a collector. It just happens.
The Forbes family, publisher of Forbes magazine, has long been one of the world's greatest collectors, with the means to acquire anything, from fine art to the legendary Fabergé eggs of Imperial Russia to antique toys. Yet over 1/3 of the family's entire collection is devoted to historical autographs.
For me personally, the autograph represents the person who held that office. Paul Revere's expense report for one of his midnight rides submitted to the Continental Congress. I mean, this is exciting. This is stuff we've all read about as kids. Here you can touch the piece of paper that they had to deal with, putting down their account of Washington's early days as a young surveyor and a soldier, things like that. Give these people a dimension. Through the autographs, you can get to know the person who held that office.
People collect for a wide variety of reasons. For a glimpse into the private life of someone they admire. To get a real understanding of important historical events, like the Civil War or Custer's Last Stand. To learn from the mistakes of the past. Or simply for the thrill of owning a piece of history. Charles Hamilton, the world's leading handwriting expert, has been collecting autographs for over 60 years.
The autograph letter and document take us everywhere. They are our passport into the past so that we can learn about what really happened. If you really want to know what happened at the Battle of Gettysburg, the best way to find out is to read the letters that the guys wrote home. They wrote home and they told what they saw. And it's a thrilling story to read. And if you think any painting of the Battle of Gettysburg can approach that, it cannot. A painting is a lifeless thing, but the stories that the kids sent home are full of life and full of excitement and wonderful to read.
The collecting of it, as my father said, documents, papers, letters, tell so much more about a president or a historical figure than do photographs or paintings of them. There's the excitement of being able to touch a piece of paper, hold in your hands something that was signed by a president, an act freeing the slaves, signifying the end of the First World War, the end of the Civil War.
President Lincoln left just such a piece of paper during the last days of the Civil War on April 3rd, 1865.
This morning, General Grant reports Petersburg evacuated, and he is confident Richmond is also. He is pushing forward to cut off, if possible, the retreating army. I start to him in a few minutes.
Edwin M. Stanton, Secretary of War, wired back his concern that Lincoln was too important to the country to endanger himself with the trip. But it was too late.
Yours received. Thanks for your caution. But I've already been to Petersburg, stayed with General Grant an hour and a half, and returned here. It is certain now that Richmond is in our hands, and I think I will go there tomorrow. I will take care of myself. A. Lincoln.
The war was over, and we have an intimate record of its final moments from the hand of one of the country's greatest men. Ironically, these turned out to be some of the final moments of Lincoln's life as well. Though he was careful during his triumphant visit to Richmond, only 11 days later, he was assassinated in Washington, D.C.